Whew. All right, y'all. Good job back again. Once again, let's lock in. Shout out to the IPA. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm just going to tell you the truth. From a foreigner's perspective, outside looking in, ladies and gentlemen, I have to say that sometimes being an overseas Filipino worker, aka OFW, kind of sucks, you know? And if any of my OFWs are watching this video and you can co-sign, by all means, comment section below, let me know. But if you're like, what does this black guy really know about the struggles of an OFW? By all means, leave it in the comment section below and let me know as well. Now, a lot of y'all know I've been around a lot of Filipinos practically my whole life. And when I think about it in hindsight, I do believe that being an OFW can, in its essence, suck. Right now, I want you to understand that the Philippines' biggest export, number one, is its people. Right? We all know this. Like, I don't think there's anybody that can argue against it. All right? Its people is its biggest export. Right? Now, why do people choose to go abroad? Well, unfortunately, the amount of money that can be made in said country is not sufficient or substantial for a lot of the people. Let's be honest, the greater majority of the people live below the poverty line. And as a result, they seek opportunities overseas or abroad in order to uplift their family status in said country, right? So they move away, make a little money, send the money back home, help people. Now, the reason why I say it kind of sucks to be an OFW is because let's just go ahead and address the elephant in the room. If you happen to get assigned to any country in the Middle East, let's be honest, unfortunately, they do not treat your people well, okay? In most situations, you might find a good boss, if you want to call it that, or a good, sponsor, whoever it is that's bringing you over there and, trying to help you get a job and put a little money in your pocket. You might find some good ones, but I'm going to tell you, I very rarely have heard stories about positive experiences living in places in the Middle East. Now, it's not all areas in the Middle East. I'm sure Dubai and places like that probably okay, but going into like those real harsher areas, I'm not gonna say any names, but you know you know they don't necessarily treat their people well. So you have to imagine that you're an OFW busting your ass day in, day out. You may or may not get paid. Crazy, right? You may or may not even get a check. But let's say you get a check, you think about all the shit you have to go through on a regular basis, being degraded, probably call it all kinds of names, sometimes even possibly physically abused, all for the sake of uplifting your status in your own home country or to help your family live a better life. Though that's a lot of a burden to take on as an overseas Filipino worker, right? Now, of course, if you're able to make it to the United States, maybe, not saying it is, but maybe the situation a little bit different. Canada, a little bit different. If you're able to be in the medical field, nursing, which is very, very popular. Filipinos do have some engineers in other parts of the world as well. If you're able to make it there, maybe it's a little bit better for you opportunity-wise. But we come across the problem of what I would prefer, or what I perceive, or what I would prefer to call as family guilt, right? Oh my God, you're just living in the United States. You're living your best life. You left us over here to be poor. You don't send us no money, or you've agreed to send money and nobody knows your financial status in said country. So guess what you do? You amass a large amount of debt to possibly appease the people back home, right? Mother, father, wife, children, you all want them to go to the best schools and stuff like that. And everybody thinks, oh, you're making the US dollar. You're living, oh my God, you're so great. Da, 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 da. And, they make you feel guilty if you don't, because you live in the country. And then, you've probably been raised your whole entire life, that family first. So you got to send money regardless. And then you guys just have people feeling guilty because you want to do it and all of this shit. But sometimes you may not even be able to keep up with your own bills. in said country, right? All the money that you're making, probably 10 times more likely than you would be in your own home country. But now you're over here going into massive amount of debt to take care of people who will never probably see the life that you actually live over here. Because sometimes it's not all it's cracked up to be. Again, y'all sitting there glorifying the OFW, but sometimes a life of an OFW just sucks. Because they work no harder than just as hard as somebody like me. And I'm born in this motherfucker, right? So you got people who are busting their ass day in, day out just to make a living, to live for themselves and for their families. I mean, and it's good to have that type of motivation, but at the same time, it's a never-ending circle, right? And the guilt tripping, because it's gonna happen. If it hasn't happened, it will happen. You as soon as you get in country, first check, somebody looking to get them some. Ain't work a day in their life, but everybody trying to get a piece of your shit. Keep that in mind. But aside from it sucking in that regard, what it also sucks is this one is only something purely from an individual to individual basis, because only if you allow it to happen will it happen. The same as sending money back home and all this stuff. If you allow it to happen, that'll happen. But you also have the mentality, not specifically you, but maybe not that you're thinking that you're better than everybody, but because people think you live such a lavish lifestyle over in the United States or whatever you're posting on Instagram, you get back home, you feel an obligation to splurge and spend like you got it like that. Going back to amassing large amounts of debt. Let's say, for example, you go back home to the Philippines and you trying to just spend money on the barangay. This bitch, you trying to take care of everybody in these streets. You know what I'm saying? You take out credit, you take out a loan so that you can go back and spend all this money and shit just to impress people. Now look at you. You have completely Americanized yourself. In the Philippines, you don't really get that like that. You know what I'm saying? They ain't really just giving you money like that. But in the United States, boy, they gonna give you as much money as you want. Because the rule of thumb is they have an expectation you're gonna pay it back, right? And I got a story, and this is the reason why I bring this up. There was a story that I was told many, many moons ago. Family member flew back, they were living in Hawaii. Family member flew back to the Philippines after taking out a $25,000 loan. Roughly, we'll say $1 million, $1.5 million, something like that, 1.5 million. They went through that shit in probably 2 weeks. The vacation was probably 4 months' time. Keep in mind, you went through $25,000 in 2 weeks. Now, some people will be like, Doc, that's light work, man. I do that on a regular basis because I got it like that. But not everybody got it like that. So you went into debt just to amass a larger amount of debt, knowing that you could pay it off, but because you want to take care of the family, you know what I'm saying? You wanted to fly everybody to Boracay or to Palawan, El Nido, and all these beautiful places because they've never seen it before, and they gonna put it on your dime. Or you opted, to put it on your dime. Now look at you. Broke. Having to work 20 times as hard. Keep in mind, to pay back the loan, but also to keep up with the lifestyle of sending money like you probably were doing before. Ladies and gentlemen, the life of an OFW is not that grandiose in most situations. It's not that glamorous. Sometimes it fucking sucks. And this is more or less a PSA to every Filipino who wants to become an overseas Filipino worker one day. Be smart with your money, please. I beg of you. Don't let nobody guilt trip you into spending, and for damn sure, don't get caught up in your own hype. Don't get caught up in the hype of people saying, oh, you're in this foreign country, you're making great money. Ooh, can you spend for this? Can you buy? Don't get caught up in that shit, right? Because everybody trying to make you feel good because you got a little bit of money, probably a little bit more than them because you're earning in a different currency. But at the same time, never forget who you are, for damn sure where you come from and what you're about. Because the minute you start letting that get to your head, you're gonna be no different than anybody on the streets here in the foreign country that you're in, right? Walking around $100,000 over your head full of debt, and all you were trying to do was come over here to create an opportunity to do better for you and your people back home. Don't get it twisted. Keep the motivation. Do good for you and your people back home. But if you want to help in moderation. Help when you can. right? This shit be no everyday thing. If you got a family, that's a little different. I can't tell you what to do, but at the same time, don't let nobody guilt trip you into sending more than what you can actually afford to do. And because they guilt trip you, and because they make you feel bad, and you know, again, family first mentality, what happens? You send it anyways. So when I say the life of an OFW sucks, or it kind of sucks, kind of what I'm getting at. Now, again, black man outside looking in, what does this man know about Filipino workers, man? He's never lived that life. He don't know what it's about. I'm just a guy just sharing in comments, sharing in a opinion, sharing in what I've experienced, talking to some people here who are Filipinos, right? I work with quite a few of them, having lived in country for 10 fucking years. I know them, but working with some of them in my current profession, many of you guys know, there's probably at least 5 in my school as we speak. And I see how they live. The greater majority of them live together. Now, the Philippine community in my area is actually a little bit bigger than I thought it would be. So what they do is they kind of find an apartment, and you'll see 2 or 3 or 4 of them living in an apartment, of course, splitting the bills and stuff like that, which is awesome, right? Because you got to find ways to cut your costs. But at the same time, every now and again, somebody walking in with their little Prada bag, you know what I'm saying? Their little Gucci bag and shit, you know, feeling themselves. And I can't be mad because everybody wants their little, whatever it is that makes them feel like they made it in life, right? You can't be mad at them for wanting to buy a little bit of something like that. Their little piece of the American life, or, you know, what do they call it? The American dream. I'm not sure if buying purses is your American dream, but at the same time, everybody wants to have that little braggadocious bag, right? You want to take it back home so everybody can see you fronting and stunting. Can't be mad at that. But at the same time, you can't keep that lifestyle up, I promise you. Especially making the kind of money that we make in my profession. You feel me? So that's just my little tidbit of information. Again, if you guys have anything you want to add, by all means, comment section below. It's been a good doc, man. I got some merch and some stuff down there if you made it this far. If you haven't already bought a hat, would appreciate it. Got those ebooks listed down there. And also my travel essentials, man. Don't forget about those as well. Ladies and gentlemen, that's my time, effort, and energy. Appreciate y'all locking in, man. It's been a good doc, man. Y'all take care. Y'all stay blessed, man. Doc is out.